Good evening, everyone. I'm Rochelle Whitaker, mental health therapist, educational consultant, and parent educator. I'm back with you all today. My goal is to equip, empower, and educate parents on how to advocate for their children. And so I'm here with you all today to talk about the behavior chart. So we're talking about 10 ways to help your child succeed at school. And so tonight I want to talk to you all about the elusive behavior chart. So the behavior chart is useful for modifying behavior or for good behavior. Hey, Tori, if you have questions, please let me know. So we're talking about the behavior chart. And so the behavior chart, like I said, it can be used to modify behavior. So say your child is having difficulty in school. So maybe they're, let's just say, kicking or hitting other students. You can use the behavior chart to modify that behavior. But you can also use the behavior chart to increase positive behavior. And so I'll just take my son as an example. So at his school, his teacher sends out a daily report of his behavior. And so it's really simple. It's just a sheet. It has the day of the week, and she uses a blue marker and a happy face. So that lets me know that he's doing well, he's right on target, everything is good. Now, so I would assume, I haven't gotten one before, not for my son, but I haven't gotten anything else. So I'm assuming if his behavior was not good, it would be a sad face or something like that. But now I've used behavior charts at work, and a lot of times I will recommend them for students that are having behavioral difficulties. And so how it works is similar to the same way if you're doing it for positive reasons. So if the child sometimes it's broken by AM and PM. So if it's morning time, the child may have a happy face. And then if they're not doing something that is on the behavior chart, like keeping their hands or their feet to themselves, they may have a red face or a sad face. And so that lets you know that they did not meet that behavior for the day or for that morning period. And so the behavior chart not only is good for the teacher, but it also allows the student to know what their behaviors are, like what is expected of them, and then how they're doing in their day. And so you use the behavior chart to help modify behavior. Now, the thing about behavior charts, if you're using it to modify behavior, it has to be done consistently and with fidelity. And what I mean is the teacher, whoever is implementing the behavior chart, it has to be consistent, right? And it has to be for those specific behaviors. That's not to say that the teacher can't redirect or self-correct, or I'm sorry, not self-correct, correct other behaviors, but the main focus of those behaviors, because whoever created the behavior chart, so if it's the school psychologist, if it's the counselor, those are the behaviors that the teacher said were most disruptive. So if it's keeping his hands to himself or keeping her hands to himself or yelling out, there are usually 3 behaviors. There could be more, usually less. I like to recommend 3 behaviors, right? Because it's hard for a child to work on many behaviors at one time, just like for an adult. If you're trying to change your behavior, it takes 21 days for us to break a habit, right? So it's difficult for us. And so just imagine how if you have a child trying to change 10 behaviors, that's a little bit much, and then it's hard for the teacher to track. So I usually recommend 3 behaviors, and that's usually what you see on a behavior chart. So the behavior chart is used to help curtail the behavior, like I said. And so the teacher just makes a mark or happy face, sad face, puts a sticker. Now, I don't like things to be taken away from kids if they don't succeed. They just don't get anything. So for instance, if they're using a happy face for meeting the behavior, like keeping their hands to themselves, if they don't meet it, there's nothing on the sheet. There's nothing taken away from them. It's just that they don't get anything for not doing the behavior. I hope I'm making that clear. But I don't like to take something away from the child, or they just don't get anything. They just don't get rewarded for that behavior. And so that's the second part of the behavior chart. So like, for instance, if you have a child, usually in the beginning of a behavior chart, you need some kind of tangible reward. It could be a sticker. It could be extended computer time. It could be extended ancillary time. It could be extended ancillary or like specials, like computer or art or something like that. So that's when I'm saying ancillary. So what was I saying? Okay, yeah. So on the behavior chart, you reinforce the positive behavior. You can, tell the child, like, good job, if that is what will will help them to maintain that behavior, you can do that as well. But I like to do something, especially for, well, it just depends on the child, but usually it's tangible. So it could be a sticker, a pencil, whatever usually you and the parent are sitting down, you all are sitting down to talk about what works for your child. And so it works really well if it's a team effort. And then it works too if the behavior chart is also done at home. So now the behavior chart the behaviors may look different. For instance, there may not, if the child's an only child, then the whole keeping your hands and feet to yourself, it really, that won't work. It won't work at home. So it may be something else. And the reason why I like continuity is so that the child, one, understands their expectations. They know what is required of them, and then there's consistency in the behavior chart. So I know that at school I have to do this, this, and this to earn this reward. And I know at home I have to do this, this, and this to earn this reward. And, or for instance, if the child doesn't, their whole day has been just not a good day. And so you also, talk to the child. You also are able to see that and say, okay, well, we need to do something at home. So you haven't had a good day at school, so you haven't been reinforced for that. So then at home, maybe it's a conversation. Maybe they don't get iPad time or TV time, whatever it is that you use to discipline your child at home, you carry that on through. Now, granted, if the younger the child is, the harder that's going to be able to do. So like if you have a 3 or 4 year old, that's a little bit more difficult because they're not going to remember what they didn't do at school, right? So, but you can have a conversation with them about making good choices. So the older they are, if they didn't have a good day at school or their behavior was out of line or they didn't meet those things on the behavior chart, then they, something is done at home. And so I like for the parents and teachers to have a collaboration. And like I said, so you have a behavior chart at home and you have a behavior chart at school. And what you do at school is carried out, and you're consistent with rewarding the behavior or and providing whatever the reinforcement is. So whether that's stickers, pencils, whatever it is, you're consistent in your behavior and it's done and the child understands it. So you sit down, even with a 3-year-old, you sit down and you talk to them in simple language and you explain to them what's the expectation and what the behavior chart looks like. Now the behavior chart may look different for a 3-year-old than it does for like a 10-year-old, right? 10-year-old may have written out words, a 3-year-old may have pictures, but it's where they can understand it and you make it so they can understand it. Okay, guys, so let me know if this is useful information for you guys. Let me know if this is a good time to come on. If if another time would be better, just let me know. Give me some feedback. Thank you for your time. Have a good week, and I will be back next week. And it may not be Sunday. I may try out some different days based on your feedback. And let me know if this is useful or if there's other things that you want to hear about that I haven't discussed. Like I said, I'll be giving you 10 ways. So I think this is the 3rd way. So we have 7 more ways to help your child be successful at school. And if you know somebody that can benefit from this information, please share the video. Thank you and have a good night.